Hello, in this GED video, I will do a video regarding unit rates. So yeah, so what I want unit rate. So when we're dealing with unit rates, for example, you might have to use this formula, distance equals rate times time, especially if you're talking about distance or the speed or the time. That's how you know you're going to use this formula, right? And what happens is you start with this formula, but sometimes they will ask for time and sometimes it will ask for rate. Um, so for example, if they ask you for time, you got to get it from this formula. See this t here, you got to get that t by itself. So you have to get rid of this r. And to get rid of this r, you're gonna have to do the opposite operation. So this is multiplication. So the opposite of multiplication is dividing. So that's how you know you get t equals distance over rate. So I'm going to box this because we might use this. And then what else? We can also start from this formula. We can also find the rate. So if you want to solve for the rate, you would get rid of this r by dividing both sides by r. So you get that. I just did that one. I mean, so if you have distance equals rate times time, to solve for the rate, you have to divide both sides by t. So you get r equals distance equal to t. Okay. So you might have to use these three formulas. That's perfectly fine. So yeah, that's how I get t by itself. That's how I got r by itself by using it, deriving it from this. So if you look at question one, a river is flowing at a rate of 4 meters per hour. How long will it take for the time to travel 3 kilometers downstream? So they're talking about time, says how long. So they want to know what time it is. And they also give you a hint. 1 kilometer equals 1,000 meters. So that's a big clue. A rate. So what do we know? A rate is 4 meters. And then do you see how the word per, that really means divide. So whenever you hear the word per, it just means division for 1 hour. So you could put like hour here, or you can even also put a decimal point. Um, it says how long will it take for a boat to travel 3 kilometers downstream? So we if you look at all our choices, it's in hours. So how long? So our time is distant. So my distance, what is my distance? What is my distance? So here, actually, let's just put in the formula. T equals distance over time. My distance is, what is my, oh, 3 kilometers. So that was given, right? 3 kilometers. And then what is my rate? So my rate is 4 meters per hour. Okay, so it looks a bit odd. It just looks strange, right? You have 3 kilometers. So you have what's called a complex fraction, which is no problem. We have I don't know if I've done this with you, but you can easily fix a complex fraction. You just have to rewrite it. But we do have one main problem. This is in kilometers. This is in meters. They don't disappear. They have in order to cancel some. They have to be the same units, right? So what we're gonna do is maybe convert the kilometers, or yeah, we would have to convert the kilometers to meters. So let's do this. Let's convert 3 kilometers to meters. So we have it's kind of like chemistry, stoichiometry. So you start with 3 kilometers and then write out parentheses and then a divide sign. And then you're gonna put to get rid of this kilometers, you're gonna have to put kilometers on the bottom. And then there are desired unit, which is meters, right? And then you just use this hint. what is the relationship between meters and kilometers? Well, they said that for 1 kilometer, there's going to be 1,000 meters. And you get what's 3 times 1,000? 1,000. And then this has invisible one. So what's 1 times 1 is 1. The kilometers disappears and you're left with meters. Okay. So yeah, so you can replace this kilometers to meters. So it's going to be time equals 3,000 meters over 4 meters 1 hour. Okay, it's still a bit strange. Sure the meters will disappear, but you still have a complex fraction. Um, I mean, technically, some people see that the meters units disappear and then you're left with hours, and then they just divide 3,000 by 4. But what they're really, if you see the bigger picture, this is what's happening. This is how they get only hours as the final unit. They wrote it as this. They did 3,000 meters, and then this has an invisible one, and then it's divided by, so it's divided by, and then 4 meters for 1 hour. Okay. So what you could do is, if you recall how you divide fractions is you could change the divide sign to multiplication and then flip it. So you have 1 hour on the top and then 12 meters on the bottom. And then this stays the same, 3,000 meters. Now, as you can see, the meters disappears and then it's 1 times 3,000 is, and when you're multiplying fractions, you multiply across, not crisscross. So 1 times 3,000 is 3,000. And then 1 times 4 is 12. And then 3,000 times 12 is 750. And then as you can see, the hours, you're just left with hours. So the final answer is 750 hours. Okay, so that is definitely letter B. Question two. Sophia cycles 2 1/3 miles in 5/6 of an hour. If her speed remains constant, how many miles does Sophia cycle in 1 hour? So this one, you don't have to use the formula distance equals rate times time. This one is a proportion. Yeah, it's a proportion. You don't have to use the formula B equals RT. So you could, this is definitely as, you're gonna set it up as a function. So what do I mean? You set it up like this. It's gonna be fraction, fraction, and then you can set it up any way you like, as long as this unit matches with this unit and then bottom matches with the bottom. So for example, if you want to put miles on the top, that's perfectly fine. You just have to make this put this in miles, right? And then what's our other unit? It looks like we're dealing with hours. So if you want to put hour on the bottom, you would have to put hour on the bottom here. So you don't have to set it up like this. You can also set it up as, you could put hours on the top, right? And then miles at the bottom. That is perfectly fine. So we'll do it, let's pretend we'll do it this way. So let's just fill in the blanks and then you must have one unknown value. So Sophia cycled 2 1/3 miles. Let's make that mix into improper. I don't like mix. So how do I make 2 1/3 as an improper? You simply multiply 2 by 3, which is 6. Add the numerator, that's 7/3. Okay, so this is going to be 7 miles in a 5/6 of an hour. So that's perfectly fine. You can put 5/6 here. If her speed remains constant, how many miles does Sophia cycle in 1 hour? If her speed remains constant, they're asking you how many miles, so that's our unknown. Does Sophia cycle in 1 hour? So put one in here. And then it's just crisscross, you could cross multiply. So go ahead and cross multiply. So 1 times 7/3 is 7/3 equals to 5, 6 times x is 5, 6 x. Okay, then what you could do is either to get you want to solve for x, so you can get rid of this 5, 6 by multiplying both sides by 6, 5. So the 5 disappears, the 6 disappears. You're left with x. And then over here, what's 6, 5, 6/5 times 7/3? Simple, right? You just multiply across. So 7 times 6 is 42, right? Or 7 times 6 is 42. And then 5 times 3 is 15. And then, um, so you get x equals 42 over 15. And 42 over 15 is definitely decimal. It's 2.8. So x equals 2.8 miles. Okay, so that is letter B. Okay, so here we have some kind of yeah, so we have some kind of table. So question 3 says a movie theater has 3 tickets option. Which one of these is the cheapest per movie? So here you have option X, and they're saying that 3 movies of option X cost $27. And then option Y, so if you watch 5 movies of option Y, it's gonna cost $40. And then for 3 movies for option C, it's gonna cost 33. So which one of these are the cheapest? If they don't tell us each individual price. So let's look at option X. So they're saying that 3 movies of option X cost exactly $27. So that is the same thing as 3x equals to 27, right? And then let's find X because we want to know how much one individual price of X costs. You're going to divide both sides by 3. And you get 27 over 3 is 9. So option X costs $9. Okay, now do Y. So it would be for 5 movies of Y equals to 40. And then we divide this by 5. So 40 divided by 5 is 8. So in option Y, it costs $8 per movie or for one movie, right? Now do Z. So they're saying for 3 movies of option Z it costs $33. So that's going to be 3Z. So 33. And then solve for Z by dividing both sides by 3 and get $11. Okay, so which one of these are cheapest? It looks like option Y is, right? Option Y is $8, option X is $9, and option Z is $11. Wait, why? Okay, there you go. H eyes. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so this was a short video, but when we do actual practice names, they will come up again. So I'm going to stop here.